Okay, we are live. Hello, hello everyone. Hello, hello. Guten Tag. And bonjour. I guess bonjour is what else we say. I'm on the treadmill. I'm working to keep my energy up. I'm way early. Yeah, I'm way early. But that's because I want to start the stream for. Look at this, I made some juice. I want to start the stream for. It's got no sugar, by the way, so it's very low in calories. Um, sorry, keep getting distracted. I'm gonna start the stream for TikTok, and I wanted to be sure that I can start it. So this is gonna be a little bit of an experiment. Also, all this is gonna be a little bit of an experiment, right? We're gonna try to make it work. We're gonna try to make it work. It's all hanging on like on little blocks. It's gonna fall. Sorry, didn't mean to scream at you. Hello, everyone who is here. 40-year-old vegan is first. Whoa. Thank you. Nice to see you first. Whoa. Mr. Martin Person is here. Marissa, Anik, a lot of cool people. That vegan for life. I saw you. I saw that you were Zeus and you changed your name. I read the chat because I was just reading the chat, maybe taking some photos of the fur protest. Oh, you said hi Zeus. I'm Zeus. I changed my name. I just saw that. Yeah, I kind of like Zeus though also. But vegan for life. That vegan for life. Why not? Love it. Sounds amazing. Neil is here. Brett is here. Amazing. Linda is also here. Awesome. And Michael, the vegan for animals. Jason also. Hello. Hello, everyone. So we're gonna go try to do some live stream on TikTok. Jason asks, did that guy take your camera? Jason, it's so funny because that guy came to me complaining about the fact that we're making noise, which is ridiculous, because we were there to protest and we have every right to protest. But he came there to to try and stop me, right? Like to block my camera, and I moved away. But then he kept coming at me, and he was getting in my face. But I've already dealt with people like that before, so I know how to deal with them. All you gotta do, like especially in the fur protests, that's it. Mouth. I did not say a single word to that protest, to that person. Not a single thing. I just wait. Wait. Let's see if I can. No, the other way. Ah, shit! I can only do it from this side. Yeah, it works. I don't know why I can only do whatever. I kept my mouth shut. The police came. The police is always there, They're there to support us also. So they came. They dealt with the guy, and all the protesters were laughing at them afterwards because they're like, "You're the one who's complaining, and you're the one who had to deal with the police." They didn't do anything to him, by the way. They just told them to stop. Oh. Happy and 7451. Love the street outreach. You do a great job. Thank you so much. Okay, let's try to do TikTok. Let's try it. You're not gonna see the same thing I see on TikTok, I guess. You're just gonna see me right now, like this. So I'm hoping you hear the TikTok stuff. Wait, maybe I should put a text also here, shouldn't I? Maybe I should put the same text I put on TikTok. Now maybe I'll just put one of the texts that I know. Existing. Okay, let's put a text. They're named so weirdly. Oh shit, I'm sorry, everyone. You see, this is what happens when you make these texts. If you care about animals, you should be vegan. It's a bit much, right? What do we say on this text? Yay or nay? No, I don't like it. It's too much. Okay. Sorry, I'm normally I'm all set up for all this, but as you saw, I just came from one protest. Okay, so if you care about animals, not that one. Let's see what this one is. Being vegan is the only way to respect animals. No. They're too long. I mean, they're good text, but they're just too long. No. Okay, maybe this one's the best then. Okay. We'll keep this one. Do we agree? Is this one good? Ban animal farming. Disagree? Join the call. There we go. And for everyone who's wondering, let me give the link, put it there. I don't know what the link to the stream itself will be. I couldn't schedule it because I did not have that option. But yeah, this is the link, which is not made a link for some reason. I guess YouTube doesn't like when we link it to TikTok or something weird. No, it did not even pop up. Oh wait, I'm look. Okay, never mind. I'll have to do one small thing. Sorry, everyone. I'm logged in. I have 2 accounts in case you don't know. I have one where I post clips, and I'm logged in with the account that I post clips on. So, okay. Wait, maybe if I just refresh here. Okay, yeah, we solved it. We solved it. I pinned the message. This is where people need to come to. This is my TikTok account. And let's see on TikTok. Okay. Test. Is the sound okay? Let's see if the sound is coming there. Okay. I think it's all good. I think we're all good. Okay, let's go. Chats and interview. Okay, here we go. Okay, we are live on TikTok also. We'll wait for people to request, I guess. Hello everyone. Hello Sebastian. Hello Swamp Slug. Hello everyone. I think a green screen would be, with a nice hiking background, would be very nice. Maybe, I do have a green screen thing, but you know, right now we're trying this. Maybe Alexander will also join on TikTok. Yeah. Some people are already joining on TikTok. Let's see if somebody will request and have a conversation with us. If you are vegan and you want to join the conversations, you can. Let's do how Gem Lettuce always does it. I like how she says, well, first I'll try and then I'll open up the panel. I like that. So we'll do that. Some people are asking me, why do I want to ban animal farming? Well, the reason why I want to ban animal farming is because animal farming oppresses innocent animals. It is just violent and unnecessary and unjust towards innocent animals. That's why I want to ban it. Animal farming is nothing more than schmavery, animal schmavery. And if we wouldn't agree it to support one form of schmavery towards humans, why would we agree it towards animals? Okay, let's see. We got our first person.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing? How old are you?
I am literally turned 18 6 days ago.
Okay. So, I'm going to ask you a set of questions and then we can go down the route. I guess you've seen the topic. It says, should you be vegan?
Yeah, I have seen the topic, yes.
Okay. So, what do you think about animals? How do you feel about animals?
I think they're here for us to consume.
Sure. I mean, you can think that, of course, but I'm asking you, like, do you think animals deserve moral consideration? If you don't know
I
what that is,
think,
I can explain
I
what that is.
think to a degree, I think to a degree, yes. Depends on the animal.
Okay. Do you think if we choose to farm them, we are exploiting them?
No.
No? What's your definition of exploitation?
My definition of exploitation would be using something for your own moral benefit or physical or blah 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 benefit. Yes, using something for your benefit, which could be considered by eating meat, I guess.
Yeah, so then by your own definition, farming animals is exploitation, correct?
I only see that as for humans. I don't see that
Well,
for
exploitation is a word
animals.
that applies, first of all, exploitation is a word that applies to resources in general, but it also applies to individuals. So I understand you have this, you want to beg the question and say exploitation is not exploitation because they're animals or they're humans or appeal to some form of definition. But that's not a logical thing that we should be doing. So let's dive deep into it because I kind of, based on your name, it's pretty clear you're a person who has a problem with vegans. So
Yeah, I do.
yeah, I understand that. It's highly illogical, but I understand there's some of you who will get
Not
triggered
from
by
people
people who
like
fight
you. More
against animal
specifically, you're
rights.
rational.
So
You're more not that vegan
sure,
teacher, so I can
no,
understand
that
you
vegan
more.
teacher is freaking awesome. So let's move on. Are humans animals?
Yes, by a biological definition, yes, they are.
Okay, perfect. So what makes you think it's okay to exploit non-human animals, but not okay to exploit human animals?
Well, I mean, it's not okay to exploit humans due to the fact we are highly intelligent creatures that are very. Well, for example, do you see chickens building hotels, massive skyscrapers, planes, all these other things? Do you see chickens doing that? No.
Do you
That means
acknowledge
they're.
that that is highly ableist? Like that we're highly intelligent creatures that can build stuff. So, am I to assume that people? By the way, I'm writing down what you're saying. We're highly intelligent creatures that can build stuff. If we find human beings who cannot build stuff and they're not highly intelligent, then it would be okay to exploit them.
Well, I mean, for thousands of years we did do that.
And you would be okay with that, right?
Slavery was.
Can you please use the word
I don't.
slavery? Not.
I would not. I would not be okay with slavery,
Can
but
you please
if
use a
I was
different
born
word?
up,
Otherwise, I'll have to kick you.
yeah. Uh, um. Let me think. The
Slavery.
shipment and use, the slaving of black people, or other races. But if I was born 200 years ago, I'd have a very different outlook on it, wouldn't I? I guess it's just the time you're born. I understand now rationally that schmavery is the wrong sort of thing to do.
Why is slavery wrong?
While you're using intelligent human beings of your own species for your own benefit.
Well, so then by that definition, slavery is not wrong if they're not intelligent.
Well, yes, I guess so, but I wouldn't.
So you're
Most
being in
humans
favor
are.
with enslaving intellectually challenged human beings?
No, I would not be in favor of that because they're humans, but animals are very different to humans. For
Okay.
example, we are the smartest species on Earth, and we've come to that. We've evolved
A
to be
species
the
cannot be
smartest
smart. I
species
hope you
on Earth.
understand that, right? A species is just a categorization. A species is not smart.
Yes, I
You just
we
describe
you
all
know what I
individuals
mean.
within that species as smart. But if I take one, do you think all individuals within the human species are smart?
No, no, they're not. But
Okay.
they're.
So
I'd
then,
say
what
that
morally
most
justifies
humans.
exploiting one individual that is within or outside that category that you created, or inside that category that you created, that does not have any of these traits? That's not intelligent, that's not smart enough. Is it okay to exploit them because of all these traits?
Well, yes, I would say that it is due to the fact that, I mean, we can loop back around here. Humans have, obviously, as I said, we've done a lot of
But I
things.
want to
If,
understand why. No, no, no. Let's not run away from the before we go into the speeches. Can you explain to me what exactly is the difference between a human being and an animal that justifies the difference in treatment?
all right, so the difference between human beings and
No,
animals
no, no,
are
no,
the
no, no. I'm sorry.
intelligence.
I have to correct you. What is the difference between a human being and a animal that justifies the difference in treatment?
Okay, so me as a human being, I think a few kilometers from here, there's a cattle station or something. There's cattle. Now that cow, I can with confidence say, is not as smart as me, and I can say that with confidence, doing to the fact that cows are not at the same level of consciousness that humans are.
So if
And
we
you may
find a
say,
human being with the same level of intelligence of a cow, would it be okay to treat them how we treat cows?
well, no, I
Then that's not
don't
the
think it
difference.
would
So
be.
what is the difference between a human being and an animal that justifies the difference in treatment?
Biologically, there's a lot of differences. I
What
mean, but
which
that's
differences justify exploitation? That's the question.
okay. The species is not up to human standard, like to being
No, I'm not asking you to
intelligent.
describe. No, I'm not asking you to describe the category. I'm asking you to describe the individuals. So what differences between these individuals justifies the exploitation? Not the category, the individuals.
Okay. So the difference between the individuals would be that humans as an individual are
Humans cannot be
born.
humans cannot be an individual.
Yes, I know humans individually, so me, for example, and the cow 2 kilometers from here, is the cow was born on a mat, most likely. It's their species is not
Yeah,
intelligent.
you're not. So I'll try yet again, and if not, I'll kick you because you don't seem to get it. So what is the difference if I take a human being? So I can take out of the whole population of the Earth, I can take one human being randomly. Okay, you don't know who that human being is, and I can take randomly one animal. And the question is, is the difference between them that would justify me exploiting one but not the other? Between these
Oh,
two
I
individuals,
see what you're saying.
I can pick any
Well,
individual.
okay. So when you say you can pick any individual, do you mean you can pick someone with Down syndrome, or you can pick
Yeah,
a cow with?
literally anybody.
Okay. Okay. So the difference between that is humans as a species,
No, I'm not
not
interested in
as an
describing the
individual.
category. As I said, it's not
As
about
an
the category,
individual,
it's about the individual.
as
Humans
an
as an
individual,
individual does not make sense, okay? That's not a sentence that makes
okay,
sense. We're
a
talking about
human,
a human individual. Okay, so I picked a random human, and you're telling me about that human, what differences between that human being and any other animal that would justify the exploitation.
okay, here you go. So a cow,
Yeah?
so a random cow,
That
as you
cow.
said, and a
That cow.
random human,
No,
yeah,
that
that
cow.
cow
Yeah.
does not see its young. If and most animals and as individuals do not see their young as if they are illogical.
Can
So
you
let's
prove
say
that?
that
Do you have any
cow
empirical evidence
has
for
a
that
yeah,
claim
but
that they don't see
well,
their young as
most
individuals?
the sharks eat their own babies.
Sure, but can you prove that a cow doesn't see their young as individuals, as you just said?
Well, I can prove that a cow doesn't see its young as an individual, not
Go
by
ahead.
that standard. But what I'm saying is they can't see if a cow is to have a baby that is not going to survive, that cow is going to not have the same level of care as a human mother would for a cow that is for a human baby as an individual.
You
That
haven't proven
the
yet. You're just mentioning your opinion. Just letting you know that you still haven't proven. You're just mentioning your opinion. Your bigoted opinion of all.
Well, yes, but I guess you could say that. But I think from my side, I'm thinking, well, that this cow, as an individual, could have, it could be slaughtered in the next 2 weeks. I know I'm not going to be slaughtered into meat in the next 2 weeks. I guess if cows have,
Yeah, that's fine. I ask you, you don't get it. That's fine. I hope next time you get it better. I asked you several times, you don't seem to get it. This is what we're gonna do. If you don't get it, we're gonna move on. Okay, wait. Let me invite Alexandra. Alexandra, join us. Join us. One of us. Come on.
Can you hear
Hello.
me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm laying in bed with a cat on my chest, so I'm not able to talk a lot at the moment.
You said that the stream has some issues that you can't see it well
I
enough.
know now the banner is centered and you are slightly to the left, but it's okay. And the banner is on top of your eyes. That's maybe not the best.
Okay, let me move the banner a
Yeah, a
little.
little bit higher is a little bit better.
Better?
Yeah, that's cool. Perfect. Perfect.
Okay. Okay, let's see who wants to join and have some conversations. The person before was already a person who wanted to. Um, well, he already had some bigotry towards vegans, apparently, or towards, uh, I don't know, that vegan teacher for some reason. He was named that meat teacher. I don't get it,
Oh,
honestly. Yeah, and couldn't properly track everything we were saying, so that's okay. By the way, this interface here on the desktop that I'm using, I can't see anything properly here too. So, yeah,
yeah, many people say that about the, I don't know if you're using OBS or TikTok Live or whatever it's called.
yeah,
Yeah, it's not that handy, but yeah.
yeah. I'm using TikTok Live and OBS for YouTube. So
Yeah, I see.
let's see. How are you doing, Alexandra? Until the people join, until somebody requests to join, I guess we can have a little bit of a chat.
Yeah, well, I'm doing okay today. I'm a little bit tired right now because I was working all day on our website and a lot of brain work had to be done, you know, writing texts and working on a better structure for our website. And we are going to have some new updates as well for our community so that we can all get a little bit better with social media content, for example. And so there's a lot that we're working on in the background at the moment. And yeah, right now I'm just very tired and I'm happy to be here. I'm always looking forward to see some debates. It's somehow very relaxing for me. I don't even know why, but listening to other people having debates, I don't know, it's very soothing. And also I can take away things without getting involved into a conversation too much. So that's pretty nice. Yeah. And you?
Oh, I get that. I also listen to debates. If I bike from one place to another, that's what I do. I listen to a debate. If
Yeah,
I
yeah, it's so nice, especially when it's also about other topics that you're not familiar with all too much. I think that's pretty interesting to listen to people exchange some arguments if they're able to, unlike some people that we talk to. But yeah,
yeah, the the funny thing is that so many people get triggered for some reason. Like today, when we did the fur protest, we had people who were triggered by the fact that we were doing a fur protest, a protest against fur, like which is insane.
really,
Yeah,
really, in 2026, that is so fucking wild. I mean, fur is like so obviously like most people are against it already. I don't know, that's crazy.
yeah, I agree. It is very crazy, but people will be people. Okay,
It's
I'm gonna
true.
respond to some people on YouTube. Let's see what people
Yeah,
say on
do it,
YouTube.
do it. I'm here in the background.
Uh, Somebody asked, how do I join the call? You can join the call with the link here. I dropped the link. I'm going to pin it. If you're on YouTube, the way you join the call, you have to go on TikTok. You have a link with a pinned message, and you can come there, and we can have a conversation on TikTok. YouTube, unfortunately, does not allow to have conversations there, so that's why we're on TikTok. Let's see. Grass-fed steaks have more nutrition for you than tofu. It's in the science, and then provides absolutely no science. No, no, it's not. There's no empirical evidence saying that. And on top of that, we're not here debating whether animal products are better than plant-based products. What we know for a fact is that we have empirical evidence showing that you can thrive on a plant-based diet. And we know that on an animal-based diet, you are exploiting innocent sentient beings. So, if you wouldn't exploit sentient beings that are of the group Homo sapiens, then why would you exploit sentient beings that are of a different group. I didn't eat meat today, so you saved an animal. I don't know, maybe you shouldn't exploit any animal, I'm just saying. Everyone deserves to live and be free, you know. There's no reason to exploit innocent animals. We can thrive on plants, we can be healthy. I built all my muscle on plants and I'm pretty strong, pretty healthy. I'm kind of tired today and kind of tired in the past couple of days because of sleeping very little, because I have to be on these streams, because I have to fight for animal rights, because you guys cannot fucking stop, sorry, not swearing, because you guys cannot stop exploiting innocent animals. So then I'm on these streams and then I don't get to sleep a lot. So can you just please stop exploiting animals so that we can, so I can go to bed? I'm gonna be responding to somebody. I'm born vegan, I don't really care people eating it and I want to start eating it. Well, yeah, everyone's born vegan, of course. We're born in the position where we don't think animals are products, but then you come into a society where they treat animals like resources, like products. Therefore, you start thinking it's okay to exploit them, so people exploit them. That's just how it is. He almost let the mask slip off. I'm just annoyed about the fact I don't like doing activism. Well, I kind of like having conversations with people, but I don't like the fact that I have to be online and tell people to respect animals, you know? I don't like that I have to be on TikTok, on OBS, that I have to learn all these technologies. Also that people can stop exploiting them. It's not something I want to do with my life necessarily. I enjoy science and other stuff more. But unfortunately, here we are. Injustice is happening. We have a comment on YouTube saying they are food. Yeah, this is exactly the type of injustice that we're talking about. The fact that you see them as food says exactly what the problem is, doesn't it? Because you think they're food, you see them as objects, when in fact they are individuals who deserve to live and be free just as much as you do. You can be food just as much as they are food. Someone said babies need milk. Yeah, babies need milk. Babies need milk from their mothers. Babies don't need milk from a forcefully impregnated cow. They don't need milk from a forcefully abused animal, do they? They just need milk, which you can get from, you know, from your own mother. And anyway, you can get all the nutrition that you need from plants. So I'm pretty sure we can synthesize any form of milk. If your mother does not produce milk, we can synthesize any form of milk ourselves, and it probably would be healthier anyway. So. Oh my God, somebody said, I'm on the carnivore diet and all I eat is meat. Well, that's pretty stupid. If you're on the carnivore diet, then that's pretty genuinely stupid. The carnivore diet, I'm a certified nutritionist. The carnivore diet is, by default, pretty stupid. I'm not, you can, I mean, consuming animal products, I'm not going to claim that it's completely unhealthy. You could probably form some form of health outcome with it. But carnivore diet? No, that's just stupid. It's just a stupid diet. It's just stupid. You're just injecting cholesterol and increasing your blood pressure for no reason. Also that you can reach a place where eventually your heart will run out and you'll have issues. No, thank you. On top of the needless exploitation, abuse, and slaughter of thousands of sentient beings, because if you're on a carnivore diet, it's thousands per year. Somebody said it's not a live stream. Yeah, it's a live stream. Maybe you want to have a conversation with me, come on TikTok. Not a lot of people are on TikTok apparently, so you know what we're gonna do? If people don't come on TikTok, we're gonna go on Discord. And we're gonna juggle one of these things. Let's go to Discord.
Conversation with that
Yeah,
guy
yeah, we
is
can.
that guy is so dumb, man. You try to
And we
you
will
tried
see
so
that.
hard, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I tried well. Anyways, let's get to the. I hope you're doing well. Let me move on to the
Yeah,
Inex.
I'm doing it.
Hello, Inex, what's up?
Yo, what's up?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing fine. What about you? What are
Yeah,
you
I'm doing
guys
good too.
discussing? What are you
We
guys
are
talking
discussing
about?
about. We are talking about veganism. What do you think?
About veganism? Yeah, I think it's cool. It's great, but I don't follow it. Like I don't have a vegan lifestyle. Because I was born eating meat. But I understand the people.
Here we go. Hi, how you doing? Hi, how you doing? Hey, Black Viper, can you hear me? Black Viper, are you there? No, I'm not there. Okay. Okay, well, the problem is now, how do I put the Discord on TikTok? Hey, Salad Folk Girl, nice to see you here. I'm gonna try to put Discord on TikTok if I can, that sound. So wait, can you guys tell me if you, on TikTok, the people on TikTok, can you tell me if you hear the sound that's coming from Discord? Wait.
Oh, I think it's just
No.
I think it's respectable. If you don't wanna eat animals. Because I don't know from different
Yeah,
reasons and you can respect animals. Yeah, I don't know, or maybe you're trying some different
yeah,
diets. Yeah, I think that's the reason.
yeah.
I think
Our family,
it's just
yeah, same here. Like even my family members are not vegan. My friends, where the restaurants I go. Hmm. Hello, cheap guy.
Hello. So we have a person
What's
here
up?
who's not vegan.
Yeah.
Why aren't you vegan?
Sorry.
because it's just I like to eat meat, and I'm just involved
Do you know what being vegan
in
means?
this lifestyle. I don't actually. If you can tell me.
Sure. So being vegan means rejecting the exploitation of animals. It means essentially saying if it's wrong to exploit a human, it should be wrong also to exploit an animal for the same reason. Do you agree that it's wrong to exploit animals, or do you think it's okay to exploit animals?
No, I think it's bad. Yeah, I think of course it's bad to exploit animals.
Okay. Do you think that you're responsible for the exploitation of animals because you consume animal products?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then it sounds like you should be vegan then. It sounds like you agree with this idea that it's wrong, so therefore you should be vegan.
Yeah, I think you're right, but yeah, I don't see myself, being vegan. But of course, I understand if I continue consuming these animal-based products, they're gonna continue exploiting them, and yeah, I think I'm part of the problem. Yeah, but I don't see myself, being in a vegan, lifestyle.
Okay, but you keep talking about yourself. How about the innocent victims? How do you think they feel?
Really, really bad, bro. really, really bad.
So why create victim? Why continue creating victims? It seems like you have the option, right, to be vegan, to not exploit them. So why choose to exploit them?
Yeah, I guess I'm not mentally strong enough, to just change my diet, to 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 a vegan diet.
You're not
And
mentally
I
strong
just,
to do that.
yeah,
Do you
I
make
think
choices
that,
for your food?
well, if I make choices from my food,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
So do you, when you consume the food that you consume, do you make choices or are you forced into eating what you're eating?
No, sometimes I choose, and sometimes I don't know. If whatever my family cooks in my house, I just eat it.
So if your
That's
family would
why
cook
I
a
start.
dog, you'd eat a dog.
Oh no,
So it
no,
seems like it doesn't matter what your family cooks. It seems like you're still passing it through your filter. So if you're still passing it through your filter, why do you choose to respect dogs but not other animals?
because I think it's just but we consider dogs as pets. I think
Okay.
I think that's why. But I
Yeah,
think where
but do
you're
you think
going,
that's
I know,
fair
I
that
know.
you choose to put them in one box and then you say, because I put you in that one box, it's okay for me to exploit you. But if I were to put you in a different box, it would be wrong for me to exploit you.
Yeah, of course it's not. It's not fair. It's not fair. Of course it's not, because other animals we can exploit them, but not dogs. Even though there is a lot of, some humans, they still harm dogs.
Yeah.
Because we are, sometimes we are bad people, but yeah, I think it's not fair. But what can we do?
You can be
For
vegan.
thousands of years we are petting dogs. But yeah, I think that's why. But I think deep down it's not fair. Yeah, I agree with you.
So you agree with me, but then you continue doing the injustice.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I don't see myself going a vegan. Going vegan.
Do you
That's
see
it.
yourself as being a violent person towards animals? Did he leave?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go on TikTok for the next person. Okay. Flare Fire Blood. How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing today?
How old are you?
I am 25.
Love it. So, do you think animal exploitation is okay?
No, I do not.
No, okay. Then do you think that when you're choosing to buy products, like animal products, maybe for food, for clothing, you are choosing to demand the exploitation of animals?
Yes and no. Now, I am not a vegan, but I am somewhat adjacent. I do my best not to consume a lot of meat, as well as uh, generally going for a more vegetarian diet. I don't really eat all that much meat.
It's not
But
about meat, right?
the,
It's about the animals. Do you think that
yes,
for the production of any type of animal product, meat, dairy, milk, all of it, do you think that in the production of all of those, animals are exploited?
I think historically they have been, but I do not think that it is inherent to the process. For example, if you were to have eggs that from chickens that were raised in an actual ethical environment, and we don't really get that in today's society, yes, unfertilized eggs are an animal byproduct. There is no real exploitation that comes out of taking unfertilized eggs. The
Yes, there
same
is.
thing,
Yes, there is. First of all,
not
it's still by
really.
definition exploitation. Exploitation does not end if you think that the individual does not use that. For instance, if
So are
somebody,
all symbiotic relations
well, symbiotic relationship,
exploitation?
Well, symbiotic relationship would imply some form of consent. There is no such thing given by animals in this situation, and it is not symbiotic because they cannot leave. Do you think a chicken can leave when they want to? No, they cannot. Do you think a chicken?
Well, a chicken can absolutely attack you or otherwise try and
Can
impede
they
you for
leave?
taking unfertilized eggs.
Can they leave?
Not necessarily, but
So
that's
then it's
not,
not symbiotic.
that does not have anything to do with the consumption of egg. That has something to do with the way in which the chickens are kept.
How much do you know about
The,
chickens and their eggs? Do you know how many eggs a chicken in the wild would lay?
well, there's a bit of a difference here because wild chickens have been bred and have been genetically modified to our modern day. We
Do you know
can't
how many?
necessarily undo that.
Do you know how many eggs a chicken in the wild would lay?
No, but I am aware, and I have worked with
15.
chickens before.
12 to 15.
15.
How many eggs per year? How many eggs does a chicken today lay?
This is kind of a false equivalence. You tend to like a lot of loaded questions. That's actually why I came on
There
here.
is absolutely no false equivalence being done over here, but I'll ask you yet again, how many eggs does a chicken today lay per year?
I don't know. 2 to
Around
3
300.
a
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, even more than 300 based on you, if you're saying that's 700. So can you agree to the fact that yes, we did indeed selectively bred them, but us doing so, we created an individual who suffers for being the way that they are? For example, us choosing to bring into existence chickens that lay 600 eggs per year, as you say, don't you think that's highly detrimental to their health? In fact, they lose a lot of calcium, they lose a lot of micronutrients when they lay those eggs.
So
And
you pro the extinction of this breed of chicken? Because the fact of the matter is this breed of a chicken exists now. It's not something that can just go away. Whether or not whether or not the breeding of them into the way they are now did harm,
yeah, it
it
did.
is a harm that has occurred in the past, and
Just
it's something
just
that
to
we
be
can't
clear,
necessarily undo.
sure. Just to be clear, first of all, we can undo because these chickens, based on, first of all, they don't breed by themselves. A lot of the times we selectively, in fact, what a lot of times, 99% of the time we selectively breed them. When we selectively breed them, which chickens lay the eggs? The females. What do you think happens to the males?
They get slaughtered in a lot of cases.
All the cases, yes. The males get slaughtered. So the females, then we send them off to farms, sometimes in the backyard, sometimes nice farms, sometimes shitty farms. But once their egg production declines, what do you think happens to them then?
They also get slaughtered. But here, have
Okay.
you ever actually worked with chickens at home?
Yeah,
Like,
my
have you
grandmother
ever
had
raised
plenty of
chickens?
chickens. I had a pet chicken, bro. I had a pet chicken when I was 18.
Okay. Well,
So
that's fantastic.
I know
I think they're
exactly
very
what
intelligent animals. And
they are.
I
But
love
what do you think you do with the eggs when they
animals
lay
in
the
general.
eggs? What do you think you should do with the eggs when they lay them?
Well, if they're fertilized, you should treat them.
Unfertilized.
Yeah, unfertilized. Well, I think that is completely fine if you eat them.
No, you should feed them back to them because they get their nutrients back. Have you ever tried feeding
Yes,
them back to
except
them?
we can provide. I mean, it's not like it's some big moral thing if you take someone's, I don't know, donut, if you go and buy them a different donut. Like,
Okay,
food is
so
food at the end of the day.
so we're
They
debating
don't
this,
need to
but let's just
recycle their exact nutrients
so
either.
sure. So obviously there
Sorry,
is a
I'm going
moral.
to say one quick thing, which
There's
is my point is more so that it's not inherently unethical and that it isn't
it is
exploitative,
it is
because
it is inherently
chickens don't
exploitative.
just run away either. If they
It is
have,
inherently
I mean,
exploitative,
like,
yes. I can explain it to you why. It is inherently exploitative, first of all, because you're taking something away from them that does not belong to you, because you're bringing them into existence and you're using them as a means to an end. That's inherently, by definition, exploitative. Just because you treat them nicely doesn't mean it's not exploitative, because you still see them as individuals. For instance, if you get a chicken and they never lay eggs, well, the fact that you got the chicken in the first place is a problem. But let's just imagine the ideal scenario where you rescue a chicken, and you rescue that chicken, and they don't lay eggs. Then you should feed them up until the end of their life. And then you rescue another chicken. But if your incentive is to rescue these chickens so that they lay eggs for you, then it's exploitation. Hands down, there's no denial. If you just rescue chickens that lay some eggs, you feed some of the eggs back. Maybe they don't want the eggs anymore. And instead of you throwing away the eggs, you take them for yourself. I don't think that's exploitation, and I wouldn't have a problem with that. But that's not the case ever, is it? So if you
Well, no,
want to,
here's the thing. I don't think that chickens can want those specific eggs. They can want food. They can want that nutrients. But the fact of the matter is,
Sure,
there's
but
not really much in terms of formal consent when it comes to any symbiotic relationship. Now, we
sure,
do
but all
not
of this
have a
is
symbiotic relationship with chickens now, but there are ways to consume animal products that are not harmful to the animal,
well, no,
that
there are not.
aren't
No.
necessarily.
Well, no, we've
Well,
already
let's take your
established that
example.
those
Let's
ways
say
don't
that
actually
the
exist.
chicken
But
wanders
don't
off and it's
exist.
just an
Excuse
empty
me.
nest
Those
full
do
of
not
eggs.
exist. Those do not exist. Okay. So
You
I want to
gave
go
one
down.
earlier.
Yeah, but those do not exist. That situation does not exist. It's a hypothetical scenario that could exist, but it doesn't. So I'm going to ask you
It
yet
could
again.
very
Well,
easily
I don't care.
exist.
Listen. I don't care about this scenario.
Well,
I
I feel
want to
like
ask you
that's
because
kind
right
of
now you're in a
important.
position. No, it doesn't matter
I
because
feel
right
like you're kind
now.
of moving the goalpost
No,
now.
no. So I'm going to mute you because I want to be clear on this one. Okay. I am curious. You said you consume animal products. You say you consume dairy, meat, eggs. When you buy these dairy, meat, eggs, you don't buy them from these idyllic farms, okay? So let's not focus on this situation that doesn't actually exist or that you actually support. Because right now you're supporting a form of exploitation towards animals, correct? You're welcome to unmute yourself, by the way. I can't unmute you.
Sorry, that was not me. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, no worries.
But no, what I was saying is, yeah, I recognize that, and I believe there's no ethical consumption under capitalism in
Sure,
general.
but
I
wait.
definitely am not a fan of in fact, that is why I have greatly reduced my consumption of animal products. But
wait, no. Before we go down, I don't want to go down this route. I want to understand exactly your point. So right now you're saying you're in a supermarket, let's imagine, and you're saying you have the option between exploiting an innocent animal or not. And you're saying there's no ethical consumption under capitalism, although one option is clearly more ethical. So I'm going to choose the option that is clearly more unethical, the one that exploits an innocent sentient being, strictly because there's no perfect option.
No. What also kills billions of sentient beings is pesticides that get used for vegetables.
Sure, and we can
the
go
sheer
down that
amount
path.
of water
Sure,
we use.
and we can go down that path.
I don't think we need to go down it. I mean,
sure,
like,
we can.
the fact is, though,
sure. But the thing about it is, though,
both
and I hate
have
to interrupt you, is that you're changing the subject.
unethicalities.
So I'm trying to understand yet again. We can go down the crop deaths argument. It's
I am
it's a very
following
silly
you when
argument
you
that
go
means
down the
absolutely
subject.
nothing. So I'm going to ask you yet again, what morally justifies you being in the supermarket and you choose to buy a product that needlessly exploits an innocent animal when you can choose a product that doesn't do that?
Oh, my point is absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
There's
So you're doing
nothing that
something
morally
wrong.
yes, but it is not necessarily a moral failure to do so in today's world.
I mean, it's wrong. It's wrong according to your values.
Okay, well, what is a
you're
better
acting
option?
immorally.
We've already discussed
Tofu.
that vegetables also have their own moral problems.
No, tofu is monumentally
tofu. Yes, but the amount of water that takes to grow,
Way
the
less.
amount of way less than stuff like cattle, and I definitely
way
agree
less
that
than
it is
way
better.
less than any form of animal product. Any single form of animal product uses more water because we have to grow food, like soy, to feed the animals. We first have to grow food to feed the animals, so we use a lot of water to grow that food, and then on
this
top
is
of that, we
something
also feed the water
I
to the
don't
animals.
necessarily like either, but to kind of counter that point, the actual grain we feed animals is a lot worse quality than the grain we feed humanity.
Doesn't really matter.
Well,
it doesn't really
because
matter.
it does actually it does use a whole lot less water, but not.
I can explain to you why
the
it doesn't
animals
matter.
themselves have a lot of water uptake, and that is a huge problem as well, especially environmentally.
It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter environmentally. This conversation is going absolutely nowhere because we've established that you're doing something immoral, correct? We've established that you're doing something wrong. So why exactly
I
do you
disagree
want to
that it's
continue
going
doing it?
nowhere. We're just disagreeing. Well, what my point is that it is not a moral failing because there is a breach of morals no matter what you choose. Now, I definitely believe that you should be conscientious and do your best
No, wait
to
a minute.
optimize it. But my
no.
point here
Let's not
is that
appear
your
to
debate
futility.
tactics are rather
Sure.
shift.
Let's not Let's not go to meta. Let's not go to something else, okay? Let's
I like
stay
how
on
you mute me
subject.
whenever I make a
Sure,
point.
I'm going to mute you when you change the subject because we haven't moved on from the subject. You said that both of this, you created some form of appeal to futility because saying that no matter what you choose, it's going to be bad. But in reality, one choice
That's not what I did.
exploits and slaughters. One choice exploits and slaughters an innocent sentient being, and the other doesn't. Regardless, any other thing that you have, any other problem you have with capitalism,
where my
with
argument
water
was.
usage, any form of
Mine
any form of
is-
issue you have,
sorry.
there's only two options.
I think you're a
one exploits and
distraction from
slaughters
bigger
an innocent
issues.
sentient beings, and the other doesn't. So I'll ask you yet again: what morally justifies you choosing to exploit an innocent sentient being? And if that it doesn't morally justify it, then you are doing something wrong. Correct?
That's kind of a false dichotomy, but yes.
Can you explain to me what other options there are if I created a false dichotomy?
For example, first off, in order to do that, I need to explain something.
No.
Slightly
What other
tangential.
examples are there?
You see, now you're leading the conversation.
Yeah, I
you
am.
can kick me
What
if you want.
other examples
but the
are
fact
there?
no. The fact of the matter is, you don't want an answer.
You said I did a false dichotomy. That means I provided you
You
with
do
only
not want
two
me
options.
to answer you.
That means I provided you with only two options when there are more
I'm
than
trying.
two. Please provide me with what other options are there other than A, exploit an innocent sentient being, or B, not exploit an innocent sentient being when you're buying food from a supermarket. What
I mean,
other
you're
option is there?
forcing me to buy food from a supermarket here. There's theoretically other ones, and
That's the
I am.
hypothetical that I drew. So what exactly other option is there?
Why does my argument have to be based off of your hypothetical?
Because that's what I'm asking you. I'm asking you a question. But that's fine. I'll
Okay.
continue. I'll continue
But
in a
you-
simpler
you-
way. I'll continue in a simpler way. It doesn't
No,
matter
no,
whether it's a
you
supermarket or
requested
not,
people
since
to
you have
come
a
on
problem
here
with
to
that.
talk to you about.
It doesn't matter whether it's a supermarket or not. So I'll ask you this way. When you buy food, you have the choice between exploiting an innocent sentient animal or not. What morally justifies you choosing the one that exploits an innocent sentient animal? Or if not, I'm sorry, you said that that's a false dichotomy. So tell me, what other option is there other than exploiting an innocent sentient being or
That's
not?
not what I called a false dichotomy, by the way.
Oh, what's the false dichotomy then?
The false dichotomy is, and I've kind of forgotten your exact wording here, so I might not directly quote it, but the false dichotomy comes down to when you say you have to choose between doing that and not doing that.
That's exactly what I
exploiting
said.
An animal.
You either choose to exploit an animal or
No.
not. What other option is there?
What I have argued the entire time is not all of this is exploitation. You are the one who shifted it into this choice
What
between these
other
two.
option is there? You said it's a false dichotomy. That means there must be another option. What other option is there?
Well, there is ethical consumption.
Okay, describe that ethical consumption of. Describe it to me. Describe it right now. Explain.
And it doesn't exist in today's world. I recognize that.
So there
And
is
I
no other
plan-
option. Thank you for that. Thank you for proving that it wasn't
In
a false
modern day,
dichotomy.
yes.
Thank you. Thank
But
you. You're right. It
are
wasn't
you
a
not
false
trying
dichotomy.
to build a better world?
So it
What
wasn't
is the
a false
point of you
dichotomy.
being here?
Fighting for
Well,
animal
no,
rights.
what you said is because
I'm fighting for
what I
animal
was
rights.
talking about.
So
Okay, so
let's,
you want animals to have rights in the
so-
end. So that's what I'm discussing is in
Sure,
the end
Sure.
where we
this
should
isn't
be.
gonna go. This isn't gonna go how you think. So we need to come back because I'm coming back to the same choice that you're having. So you're choosing to exploit an innocent sentient being. What morally justifies that? And if it's not morally justified, then admit that it is wrong what you're doing.
I already admitted that it is wrong, and then you said that it was an appeal to defeatism or whatever, and I said no, it's not. And the reason it isn't is because I was responding to your question on why it doesn't matter
Yeah, that's an appeal to
if
futility.
this one
it does
thing
matter.
is.
Okay,
No,
so let's put it this way, Flair. If you had two options in front of you when you choose a product, let's say you want to buy shoes, right? Which is very common. Some shoes, sometimes we know that it's common, can happen that you can exploit humans to make those shoes. So you have an option between choosing shoes that exploit humans and choosing shoes that don't exploit humans. What option would you choose? And if you say that the ones that exploit humans because there's no ethical consumption to capitalism, that at least you're being morally consistent, but you're being kind of a jackass. So if you choose the other option, that means you're
You
being
see,
morally
I'm
inconsistent.
not being a
but you're-
jackass. I'm calling you on your on your debate tactics because they're
Sure,
not
but
particularly good
this isn't the
faith.
point of contention.
But
My
well, no, no.
debate
Let
taxes
me
are not the
actually. Can
point
I
of
give
contention
you?
right now. We're speaking about the sheerest example that I gave you. So you have two options. One chooses to exploit innocent humans, and the other doesn't. You still buy shoes. Which one would you choose?
I actually lost you for that last bit.
Sure. So you have two options in front of you. One, to buy shoes. One, you exploit innocent human, and the other don't. You don't. Which one would you choose?
I would choose the one with less exploitation, which is what I do, by the way.
There
So
you
do you
go.
want to
So
actually
when you
hear
do
how I lead my
so why
life?
don't you apply the same logic for animals?
I do.
You don't, because you said you consume
wanna-
animal products, don't you?
I consume mostly wool products. When it comes to animals, I also do eat egg. Those are the two main ones. What I do more than anything is I do not check for animal products. I don't go out of my way.
So why do you choose to exploit innocent
veganize,
sentient beings
but
when you can choose not to?
I do. Well, I do make a conscious choice to do a generalized focus on ethically produced sources of food.
This isn't going
sources
anywhere.
of-
This isn't going anywhere because
All
you're just
right.
getting
I
defensive
mean,
about
you're
your
kind of
choice.
admitting you're losing because, like,
yeah,
I'm
sure.
answering.
I'm losing. Sure, this isn't going anywhere, and I'm going to disconnect you because there's plenty of people. I'm not interested in this type of situation. I'm not interested in placing blame on you. I'm not interested in explaining to you what it is. I'm just interested in testing your own logic. You've already admitted that when it comes to human beings, you wouldn't exploit them. But when it comes to other animals, you choose to exploit them. And then you start down this little path of, yeah, but what if it was this situation? No, they're all shitty situations. And you choose to exploit them. So stop exploiting them. Hello, Mr. Skyjack Morgan.
How you doing?
No, I'm trying to have conversations here, but everyone's just being disingenuous.
Oh, you seem like you might. Are you okay? It sounds, you seem very angry these days, my friend.
Well, I'm sick and tired of people trying to justify violence. Yes.
Yeah, but you know that's what they do every day. Every time they buy anything, every time they go to the supermarket, that's what they're doing. And I don't
But
know.
I'm not
like
angry. I'm not angry, Sky. I'm just like, I'm trying to have conversations with people, and they always derail it. And when they derail it, I have to be in this position where I have to mute them, and I don't like it. So they're putting me in a position that I don't want to be in. So
why not ask them questions like how?
That's what I tried.
How they're getting to these.
That's what I tried, but he didn't. He just dodged the question. But anyway, let's move on because I'm not here to discuss about me or my meta. So I want to discuss animals.
You or your meta. Are you you're fired up today?
Sure.
What do we? Have you had any good ones?
Not so far, no.
I was watching on YouTube. It was it's a little different over there. I didn't know that you were doing this TikTok thing.
I'm trying. Yes. Let me get somebody in, okay?
Yeah. Can I play?
So, sure, but the way we're gonna do it is I'm gonna try to have a conversation, and at the end I'll open up to the panel, and then you can ask questions, okay?
Okay.
Hey, Country Juice, how old are you?
40.
Nice. So, do you think animal exploitation is okay?
I do, yes.
You think it's okay to exploit animals? Okay, are humans animals?
Yes, humans are animals.
Okay, so then it's okay to exploit humans.
Well, no, it's not, because humans are a different kind of animal. Humans are made in the image of God.
Okay, so you go by God. Okay, what exactly is the difference between human beings and other animals that justifies the difference in treatment?
I'll go ahead and repeat myself. Human beings are made in the image of God.
Okay, can you prove to me that the human being is made in the image of God?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Have you ever seen an animal create anything?
Yeah, plenty of times.
What?
Yeah, have you seen a puffer fish? They make this amazing art. They make literally art to attract their mate. That's very interesting. That's what pufferfish do. But there's several other animals who do a lot of interesting things. But if you wait a minute, because what you just said,
like pufferfish. Hold on, no, a pufferfish making art to mate. What I'm talking about is a human being making art, creating something specifically just to create it because they have creative energy inside of them.
Sure, that's why humans
That's
create
what I'm
stuff.
asking you
Because
to
they
tell
have
me.
creative energy inside of them, not because they want to mate. Bro, sure. I asked you a question. Can you please prove to me that humans were made in the image of God?
I answered that question.
No, you didn't. You haven't proven to me. You said you asked with the question, can humans dot dot dot? Have you seen an animal dot dot dot? But let's go by. I'm assuming, are you a Christian?
I believe humans are made in the image of
Are you a
God.
Christian?
I mean, like whether I'm Christian or not, I don't think is relevant to the vegan discussion, is it?
Well, it's very relevant
Yes,
because I
it
can
is.
prove to you. I can prove to you that you are being biased right now, and that you're not actually that your God is not true when they say that you can consume these products, these animals.
Is this about, a religion, or is this about veganism?
It's about animals.
Okay, so let's talk about animals. I'm talking about animals.
Okay,
and
well,
I'm
don't
saying
wait a
that we
minute,
have the
country.
ability
No,
to
wait a
exploit
minute,
animals.
country. No, because you brought your God into it. I didn't want to speak about God. You brought God into it, just to be clear,
Right.
okay? I'm not interested in speaking about your God. I actually have a very good argument on why you shouldn't trust that nonsense. But that's fine. The question remains, what are humans animals? So then we'll ask again. I take any random human, any specific, I can choose any human on this planet and any animal, okay? And I'll get to choose an intellectually challenged human being. One that cannot speak. In fact, one that was born with hydroencephaly. I don't know if you know what hydroencephaly is. Hydroencephaly is this condition where they're born with half a brain. They cannot really live longer than 9 or 10 years. Their intelligence level is less than of an animal. In fact, it often there's people who even doubt that they're sentient, but they are. So the question is, if I choose this human being, would it be okay to exploit them? Because they're not, they're less intelligent than an animal. They're less sentient than an animal.
Oh, they're made in the image of God.
Oh, okay. So can you prove to me that they're made in the image of God? We go back to God. So you bring in God again.
So it's all religion.
Yeah. So if you care about God, let's say, have you ever heard of Leviticus 11:3?
Yes.
Okay. Leviticus 11:3 specifically tackles this issue, and it says, you may eat any animal that has a divided hoof and that chews the cud. And then, in the next
Can you
paragraph,
read that first part again?
Sure. You may eat any animal that has a divided hoof.
Problem solved. So
then
it says
they
that we're
choose the
allowed
cud.
to eat animals, right?
You
So it
have to
says
shut
that
up to
there
listen to
are
the argument
animals
for a
we're allowed to
second.
eat.
You have to shut up for a second to listen to the argument, okay? And then...
That's very rude of you. No wonder why you're not having any good guests.
Sure. And then, just to be clear, it says the animals that they have to chew the cud, okay? It says that in your Bible, okay? And then it gives examples. And one of the examples that it gives, let me find it again. There are some that only chew the cud and only are divided hoof, but you must not eat them. And then it says, the camel, though it chews the cud, does not have a divided hoof. It's unclean for you, so you cannot eat camels. Let me finish. The hyrax, though it chews the cud, does not have divided hoof. It is unclean for you. So let me repeat that one. The hyrax, though it chews the cud, does not have a divided hoof. So you're claiming that this sentence was written by God, correct?
Sentence was written by a person that was inspired by God, yes.
Sure, but do you know that it is wrong?
No.
Yeah, so hyrax do not chew cud.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fairly simple. Hyrax do not chew cud, but it's... Well, let me explain it very simple to you. Because the fact that hyrax do not chew cud, in fact, somebody who sees a hyrax and they see them masticating, they think that they are chewing the cud, but instead, in fact, they do not. So it just seems like something that a human wrote. So this specific observation just seems like something that a human wrote. So if something that you are taking as a rule from your Bible, that it is wrong to do or that it is right to do, is written by a human, then how can you trust anything else that it says in there, specifically the part where it says that you can eat animals?
So now we're going to talk about the validity of the Bible, right? You want to talk about that first?
Well, you're the one who brought it in there, aren't you? You
Okay,
said
let's
you
talk
said the
about that
difference
first. So
between a
let's
human
go
being
ahead
and an
and
animal is that a human being was brought in the image of God. And where do you know that from? Probably from your Bible. And as we've established, your Bible was written by a human and it was incorrect. So then how can we establish the validity of that other claim that they're made in the image of God?
We haven't established that it's incorrect. You've made a claim that it's incorrect.
The
but we
Hyrax
haven't
does not
actually
chew cod.
established it yet.
The
All right,
Hyrax
so
does
let's
not
look
chew
at that
cod.
verse. You said that verse was Leviticus 11:3.
Yeah, it's from 11.3 to 7, yeah. It's 11.3.5 is the Hyrax.
All right. So, what translation are you reading from?
Just English. It's pretty clear, right? I'm speaking English.
Well, there's different English
No,
translations.
he means if it's King James or which one. I mean, King
I have
James
no
talks
clue.
about unicorns and
I have no
unicorns
clue.
and dragons. Hey, caller, why do you think that God? There's just as much evidence in the Bible about how the entire universe is God's image, that all of us are made in God's image. I mean, Jesus goes to great lengths to show that animals, being innocent, deserve compassion and mercy. I mean, isn't Jesus the one we're supposed to be listening to? If anyone's in the image of God, isn't it Jesus Christ? Shouldn't we be listening to him?
100%, 100%. Now, you're 100% right. That we are supposed to be kind and we aren't supposed to torture animals. Nobody here is saying, like, I'm not making the claim that I torture animals. I have pets. I have those things, right? And I'm kind to them. I
Finks.
care for them. I steward
Finks?
them, right?
Did you just
What
call
I'm
them
saying
finks?
is that what I'm saying.
But man,
What I'm-
does
what
do you
I'm
think,
saying.
man, I get that,
What
but
I'm
like
saying is
you
that
said, torture exploitation was the thing we were talking about, right?
Anybody, so yeah, but what I'm saying is that I'm saying it's okay to exploit animals for their meat and their hides. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's okay to torture them.
What morally justifies
but it's okay
that?
to exploit
What morally
it.
justifies that? If I choose to do that to a dog, what would morally justify that?
What would morally justify you to exploit a dog for their meat and their hide?
Yeah.
The fact that you're made in the image of God.
So, wait a minute, wait a minute. I'm made in the image of God. The dog isn't. So what morally justifies me exploiting a dog but not a cow?
Because you're made in the image of God, you can exploit.
What does
them
that have
both.
to do with the 2 second? So I can. So you're okay with exploiting dogs for their flesh, correct?
If you choose to do that, yeah.
Oh, so you think it's moral to bring dogs into
I mean,
existence? Let me
I
finish.
exploit my
So,
dogs. I
country
exploit
juice.
my
I'll just
dogs.
draw the
I
simple
breed,
hypothesis.
I breed
Sure.
my dogs. I
Sure.
take my dogs.
Sure.
I
Sure.
breed my dogs.
Sure.
My dogs
Sure.
are.
I'm gonna need you to shut up for a second because I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm not interested in exactly how you exploit your animals. We all know you do. We already know you do. But let's imagine this way, and I'll draw a hypothetical scenario for you so that I hope you're listening to this. So I choose to bring a dog into existence, and then what I choose to do is I choose to take them into my backyard, pew them in the back of the head, and then I use their body as a punching bag. Would you say that what I'm doing is moral or immoral?
I would say that sounds like torture. That doesn't sound like good stewardship.
No. Wait a
of
minute.
the-
Country juice. There is no torture
I didn't
there.
interrupt you. Why
Country
are you
juice. There's no
interrupting me?
torture there. There's no torture there. I literally said,
There is.
I pew them in the back of the head. They don't see it coming. They don't feel any pain. And I give them a really good life for up to a year when I start doing that to them. So it's not torture.
Sure.
Let's not.
Well, you didn't say that. You didn't say that originally, but okay.
I clarified it, sure.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. Would you? And so, for me to respond to that, right? Why did you do that? Like, why couldn't
Because
you
I need
just
to work
buy a
out.
punching bag?
Oh, wait. But because I've always done that. In my family, it's a tradition in my family that we've always done it this way. We brought dogs into existence, pew them in the back of the head when they reach 1 year old. We treat them very nicely during their life. They don't feel any pain as they're going through that. And then we use their body as a punching bag.
But why couldn't you use a punching bag that didn't kill that dog?
Why would I?
Great
Because
question.
Why would I?
Why can't you use milk? Why can't you use milk that doesn't come from a cow? Why can't you use protein that doesn't come from a cow? Why can't you use clothing that doesn't come from a cow? That's a great question, caller. You really just got straight to the issue there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
You have
what's
an
the answer?
alternative. You have an alternative, right?
You have an alternative.
What morally justifies you not choosing the alternative? The same answer that you're going to give What morally justifies you choosing to exploit to death these innocent animals like cows, like chickens, like pigs? I can give you exactly the same answer that would justify me doing this to dogs. Exactly the same.
Well, the cow doesn't live in my home, and I don't.
Neither does my dog.
Cow doesn't.
Neither do those dogs.
Okay.
They live outside.
Well, then you're not. Well, then you didn't treat the dog very good.
No, they live in a spa outside. They don't live in my house. They live in their own house. They're treated very nicely.
Okay.
But,
Well, then
but
yeah,
caller,
you can do that. You know, at the end of the day, you can do that.
So, and you think it's moral if I choose to do that?
Personally
1 second,
I
Sky.
personally wouldn't do that. But you're,
No.
you know, you.
Country
have-
Jews, is it moral if I choose to do that? That's the question. It's not whether I can or cannot do it. According to
Is
your
it
values,
moral?
Country Jews, according to your values, if I choose to bring a dog into existence, I give them a great life. They don't sit in my house, as you just said. No, they sit in their own house. But I pew them in the back of the head without them feeling any pain after 1 year old, and then I use their body as a punching bag. Am I doing something right or am I doing something wrong according to you or your values?
I've already answered the question. To me, I would not do it. But
So it's
if
wrong.
you want to do it, go ahead.
So it's wrong.
If
then
that's
then
the
you're
type
being
of
morally
person you are,
inconsistent.
go ahead.
Then you're being morally inconsistent. Do you realize that?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Well, what exactly? Why is that wrong?
I never said it was. I said I.
So
wouldn't
is it
do
right or is it wrong?
I wouldn't do it.
No, I need you to answer
Why
it. I
not?
know you really want to dodge the question. Is it right or is it wrong?
It's neither.
It's neither. So it's amoral.
Neither.
Okay, so it's neither right nor wrong. If I choose to
it's
do this
something
to a
that
dog.
you can choose to do. It's
So
something
why
that
wouldn't you
you're
do
able
it
to
then?
choose to do.
So why wouldn't you do it then?
I would if I needed to, right? Like if the time came and there was no other way for me to get meat, there was no other way for me to get hide, I would
No.
do
In
that,
the same
right?
situation, let's not move the goalpost. In the same situation where you have alternatives, why wouldn't you choose that?
Because I already have a punching bag.
Okay, but in the same situation, why wouldn't you choose that? Let's imagine that punching bag was sold. Your one of the members of your family hid it. Doesn't matter. You lost it. Doesn't matter. They sold it.
Yeah,
You don't
okay.
have a punching bag
Sure.
anymore.
Okay.
Why wouldn't you do that?
And in this scenario, just a clarifying question, in this scenario, am I part of your family where we have the tradition of doing this?
No. It's your values. You said you wouldn't
My
do it.
values.
Why wouldn't you do
No,
it?
I wouldn't do it. No, I
Why?
wouldn't do it.
Why?
Because I don't need a dog punching bag. I don't want a dog punching bag.
But you see, Country Juice, the thing about it is you're just trying to you're going down this slope where you want to run away from the actual core of the issue instead of you actually asking yourself the question. Because I hope you realize that, Country Juice, the situation that I presented to you is nowhere near different than the situation that you put these other animals in between. We're
think
doing
it's
this
very
one
different.
awful thing. We're doing one awful thing to them for something that we have an
No.
alternative for.
I think it's very different.
Can you explain to me what the difference is between me choosing to bring a
difference is
dog
that
into
I love my
existence,
dogs and I have-
use them,
The difference. Yes.
and use
The
them
difference
however I
is-
feel, and when I can no longer use them,
Do you
I
want the
unalive
difference?
them.
Do you want me to tell you the difference? Would
Let
you
me
like
finish
me
the
to tell you
situation. Let me finish the situation so that you know what to answer, okay? What is the difference between the situations, okay, where this dog is not somebody you love? They're, again, a dog you farm. They're a dog that put in a shed. They're a dog that's somewhere else. These dogs are specifically bred for this purpose. So what's the difference between breeding these dogs specifically for that purpose, so that if you can bring them into existence, unalive them, and then use their body as a punching bag, versus you doing the same thing to a cow, but for the sake of putting their flesh through your mouth?
Okay. So the difference is that I'm not in your family and I don't have that tradition. That's the difference.
So the difference is the tradition. So you think tradition justifies this form of aggression or oppression?
Tradition. Well, no, you do, because you said that's why you would do it.
No, I hope you understand that this was a hypothetical. I actually respect all animals and I would never do that. But what I've been trying to explain to you is that the situation that I described to you, the one that you seem to have some opposition towards, you say the only difference between this situation and the situation that we do to other animals is the tradition. So now I'm asking you, okay, but what if it were tradition? What if it were tradition? What if the tradition changes? Right now, the tradition changes. Everybody around the world starts doing it. Everybody around you starts doing it. Does that mean that you doing it would be right?
Me doing it would be right.
Yeah, what we discussed about dogs.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So then, would you say that in situation where it was traditional, or in situations when it was normalized, for example, for women to not have rights, then that was the right thing?
No.
Okay, so then we reach the contradiction because it seems like a form of injustice does not is not justified by
We haven't
tradition.
reached the
Yet this
contradiction.
form of injustice, you seem to think it's justified by tradition.
Would you like me to explain?
Well, no, not really, because you're just going to appeal to some form of normality. So let's go
Okay.
back to it, okay? Let's go back to it. Let's go back to it, okay? So if it
Yeah.
becomes
You
a
won't
tradition,
explain my point of view. What we'll do instead is we'll just run with whatever straw man about
Sure.
my point of view you would
What
like
is a
to
straw
run
man?
with, okay?
What is a straw man?
A straw man is where I make a claim about something where I'm saying something about something, and then what you do is you say, "Oh, you mean," and you twist what I said, and then you make the claim that what I said is
Sure.
actually this straw man, and you
I'll
fight
accept
against
that.
the straw man.
I'll accept that. It's a misrepresentation of your point. Which point did I misrepresent you? Did you not say that if it were tradition to do this to dogs, you would do it too?
Correct. Yes, I did say
So then
that.
I did
and
I
then
how did I
then went
misrepresent
on to
your
try
point
and
then?
Explain that, and you would not allow me. And
How did I misrepresent your point?
The way you misrepresented my point was that you did not allow me to talk about why it's different of it women's rights versus doing this to animals. You didn't allow me to explain
Okay.
the difference, and
So let me
now you're going to make
so let
an
me be clear.
argument. Now
So
you're
let me
gonna
be
make
clear
an
what I was
argument
clear,
where
okay?
I'm claiming that they're the same.
No,
So
no.
that's
So let
how
me be
you're
clear.
straw-
Let me be clear. You wanted I'll let you explain the difference, but just to
I'll
be
go
clear
on
what
mute
you're
and you go
explaining
ahead
the
and
difference
straw man
between,
it.
okay? What you're explaining the difference between is you're explaining the difference between an injustice done towards a sentient being simply because you can or because it's tradition to do so, right? That's what you said. We're talking about tradition now. An injustice done towards a
And an
sentient being
and an
because of
image bearer of
tradition.
God, and somebody who's made in the image of God. Yes, that's what we're
What are you
talking
talking about? Women are not made in the image of God according to you,
about. They
right?
100% are made in the image of God.
What do you
Women
mean?
are
How
made
was
in
an
the
image
of
made
God.
in the Bible? Come on.
Excuse me?
How was an how were the women made
Women
according
made
to
in
the
the
Bible?
dude.
Well, I mean, do you want me to read it to you?
No, they were
You don't
not
know the
made.
story of how women were created?
Yeah.
You're the one reading the Bible, and you don't know
No,
the
I
story
do.
of the
I mean,
female
I'm
creation?
surprised that you guys don't, is what I mean.
We
But
do.
Well,
We're just trying to
you're the
confirm
ones
that you know it.
you were relying, sir.
yeah,
You were
it's in
relying
Genesis
so
chapter
heavily.
1, so you would only really have to go to the first page of the Bible to figure
You're
it out.
relying so heavily on this image of God thing, and yet
Yeah.
you're all twisted up about it, man. Like you're all over the place with good stewardship, and I mean, what is your point of view? Just that because we're made in the image of God, we can't exploit humans, but we can exploit animals? Is that your whole like worldview?
Yeah, Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. So God created man in his own image.
So
In the
can't you
image of
just
God, he
sure?
created him.
Can't you
Male
just
and
sure? I'm not
female,
interested.
he
Can't you
created
just
them.
okay? Let's
So
move
God
on.
did
Let's
create
move
man
on.
and women. He did create them both in
Sure.
his image.
Sure. So can't you just let me ask you
Well, you
this?
guys said he didn't. You
Sure.
guys
Sure.
said he didn't. So
Sure.
will
I
you
was
say that you
wrong.
were wrong?
Yes,
will
I
you
was wrong.
admit that you were wrong about that? Will
If
you
you shut
admit
the
that you were
I'm
wrong?
Can't you just? I just said I
wrong
was
about the
wrong.
Bible. I'm out of
I
here.
was wrong. Let's move on. Let's move on. Can't you just? Okay. I'll ask you.
Jesus loved you.
Sure. I'll ask you. I'll ask you this thing. Okay. I'll ask you simply. If I was not made in the image of God because I look totally different than any other human being on this planet. If I have 3 eyes, 2 noses,
Yep.
and a mouth, then it would be okay to exploit me?
Are you a human being?
Well, okay. So now so now it's not about the image, right? Now we're talking about the classification of humans. Are you interested in my genetic variation, whether I'm classified as a human being, or what are you interested in exactly
So
when
what
you're
you're
asking me
doing
if I'm a
is
human
you
being?
are taking the word image literally and thinking that's what image means. Image is something inside. Like when it's saying God created man in his image, it's
So mambo
it's
jumbo.
something inside that he created.
Okay, so mambo jumbo. Okay, so so let me explain it this way. If I'm not
So,
part of the human
no,
species,
it's answering your question.
can't
Well,
you
let me
just?
ask
If
you
I'm
this,
not part
right?
of the human
Let me ask-
species, if I'm not part of the human species, if I'm part of,
Yeah.
if I'm a Homo, I'm not Homo sapiens. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm Homo denisovan, or whatever. Homo neanderthalis. That's why I always say I'm
Yeah.
Homo neanderthalis. If I'm Homo neanderthalis, is it okay to exploit
Yes,
me?
it's okay to exploit me. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, Contagious, I think we reached a point where, you know, you
Let
just
me
want
ask
to
you
bring
this.
on this
Let
religion.
me ask you this question.
One
If
second,
you're
one
a
second, one
human
second, Contagious.
fetus,
One second, Contagious. Just, we reached this point where you just, I just want you to understand that you're using a compassionate God as a justification to commit violence, right? And you're doing that
how is it violent?
because,
How is it
because,
violent?
how is it, excuse me, how is it violent to unalive an animal? Is that not violent?
Well, you didn't say anything about unaliving an animal. You said exploit.
What have we been discussing all this time so far? Exploitation is violence, brother. I hope you understand that. All forms of exploitation are another form of violence. Whether it is actual physical
If you want to
violence
call it
or
violence, if you want to phrase it like that, go ahead. Go ahead.
whether it is
Yes,
physical.
yes,
Okay,
it's okay.
okay. So
it's
country
okay
just
to be violent against animals.
so country just.
If
I'll
you
explain
want
it
to do
this way.
that, if
You're
you want
using
to-
you're using
if
a
you want to phrase
compassionate
it like
God.
that for your argument, go ahead.
Sure. You're using a compassionate God to justify acts of exploitation towards an innocent sentient being. Just to be clear,
Animals, yes.
that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Well, you're an animal also. I'm an animal also. We're all animals. You're just
We're
speaking a
made in
certain
the image of
category.
God. We're different. We're set aside.
Sure, whatever you say. So as I said, you're using a compassionate God to justify violence. Now go on, say your thing, and then you can go.
Is it morally wrong to exploit a human fetus in their mother's womb?
We're not talking about abortion, and would it be wrong to morally exploit a human fetus in there? Yes, it would be morally wrong to exploit them.
Okay, so abortion is wrong. We should abolish abortion and get rid.
As I told you, we're not talking about that here, and I appreciate you trying to understand like I literally answered your question, and I tried to have a conversation with you, but you're just being a disingenuous person, and I'm not interested in having that conversation with you. Let's move on. Hopefully, no more religious talks. Hey, Grateful Jack, how are you doing? How old are you? How old are you? Grateful Jack, can you hear me? I muted you. If you want to have a conversation, you will need to unmute yourself. Okay, I guess you don't. Alexander, are you here? By the way, I can't hear you if you're off the app. Yeah. Half asleep. Okay. Yeah, it's so annoying when people bring up God and all these type of things, you know, because like I really don't want to dish religion, your religion or whatever, right? Like I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to tell you, hey, put your religion wherever you want to. But the minute that you use something that you claim is compassionate to justify acts of violence is kind of messed up, I would say. And the minute that you use that, I would say you're doing an act of evil. But yeah, Topside said they want to join. Topside, just you know, let me invite you if you want. There you go.
Hello? Hello?
Hey, how are you doing? How old are you?
I'm 24. Name's Josh, by the way. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Josh. So, Josh, do you think animal exploitation is okay?
No, I don't.
I appreciate that. Okay. Do you think that when you buy animal products, you are choosing to demand the exploitation of animals?
Yes. Yeah, you are.
Okay, I appreciate that. So, are you vegan?
Is it okay if I kind of explain kind of like
Yeah,
my
sure. Go
background
ahead.
a little? Or,
Yeah.
So I'm kind of new to veganism as a whole. I've been reading a lot of Peter Singer, if you know who that is, and
I
it's
know that.
kind of changed my mind
Yeah.
on the way I've kind of viewed animals. I've never really thought about it deeply growing up. I mean, because everybody does that. But the more you think about it, it seems wrong. and I'm really into moral philosophy as a whole. So my concern with veganism, even though I agree with it, it kind of feels a little arbitrary to me in a moral sense. Does that make sense? I can explain that if maybe it's kind of confusing or vague.
What do you mean by arbitrary? Do you think like are you confused about the proverbial line that we draw in the sand?
Yeah. So like, maybe just ask you a question, and then I'll let you just kind of maybe go off and say what you think. So,
Sure.
do you think moral principles like need to provide like a non-arbitrary basis for assigning like moral status to things, people, animals? Like, does it have to be non-arbitrary, or is it arbitrary?
I don't think. I think you assigning. What do you mean by moral status? First of all, wait a minute. What does that mean?
Like moral consideration. So
Yeah.
like how we determine if we give say dog rights, or how we give children rights, or how I get them and how you get them.
Sure.
There's a non-arbitrary basis for which how we do it, I guess.
Yeah, I
If
can
that
explain
makes
to you.
sense.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I would say that the individuals deserve moral consideration. All individuals deserve moral consideration. And the way we classify whether somebody is an individual or not, whether they're someone or something, is based on whether they have an experience of life. And if they have an experience of life, and I don't just mean that they live, but they experience life. If they experience life, then that must be they're an individual. So that's called sentience. And the animals that we farm definitely have sentience. And there's obviously a group of animals somewhere in the middle where we're unsure whether they're sentient or not. But I err on the side of cautions with those animals. I use the precautionary principle and say they probably are sentient, so there's no reason for me to go down that route.
Okay. So I'm just going to say back what I understood, and you can correct me if I misunderstood. You're
Sure.
kind of saying veganism is grounded. People, animals, and humans are given moral status because of sentience, and since sentience kind of determines moral status, then all sentient beings deserve equal moral consideration. Is that kind of what you believe?
To some extent, they don't have to be sentient. They have to have the capacity for sentience, right? That's it. Because, for example,
How do you? Sorry.
because, for example, when the part about sentience that I care about is experience of life. But you could make the point that when you're sleeping, you're not experiencing life because you're kind of unconscious, but that you still have the capacity to experience life. It's just that in that moment you don't.
What is your criteria for determining if a animal or has a capacity to have experience or sentience? Because you correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't you say you think some animals might not? It's like up for debate. So how do you
Yeah.
determine ones that do and ones?
Generally, if they have a brain and a central nervous system, then the likelihood of them being sentient is very high. If, however, they don't have a brain or they only have a central nervous system, which that is the case for some animals, then they may or may not be sentient.
Okay. Do you think some non-human animals have like a greater capacity than some humans for sentience, or something along those lines?
I don't think sentience has a gradient. I think sentience is either there or not there. You either experience life or you don't. You can have a richer experience of life, but I can't classify and say that humans have a richer experience than animals, because it's very difficult to say who has a richer experience. For instance, if you take a dog will hear a lot, will smell a lot. So as a dog navigates through the world, their experience of life, their experience might be way richer than ours, because they see so many other things in the world that they live in, as opposed to we do. But then again, we think a lot more than they do, right? So
Yeah.
we're put in this position where it's difficult to say which one is richer. I would just say we both experience life, and it's difficult for me to classify which one does. Because even between you and me, you might experience life more than I do. But it's difficult to say how we classify that.
Let me give an example, and I just want to see how you may respond to it. Let's say it's me and you, and let's say like I live in South Sudan, and you live where you live now, probably in a nicer country in a nice city, and my life, my conscious experience, my sentient experience is way worse than yours. You know, I
Sure.
experience a bunch of pain and suffering. Wouldn't it, to me, logically, it seems like your experience is better because of the lack of, you lack the horrible circumstances that I'm in. So we can say your sentient conscious experience is better to have than mine. Would you agree, or?
No, no, I cannot agree to that.
Okay.
I don't believe that it like comparisons of experiences. I don't think you can make them. Just like comparisons of value in general, it's very difficult to make them. For example, we shouldn't derive morals based on the value that we place on others, is what I'm trying to say, but rather the value that we have within ourselves. And that's the same way I see with with experience. Your experience is your own. Can I strongly say that my experience is better than yours? Well, I'll say that my experience is better than everybody else's because it's mine. But I can't know if mine is better than yours. Like I just can't. Like
But
you
don't we
you could
feel that
make
way
a
about
case.
animals?
Say it
Like
again.
but don't. That's why I'm kind of maybe a little confused when I'm thinking about veganism. So please correct me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
But aren't we trying to say that our experience is better than the animals, and we want them to be like our experience, where they don't have to go through those things? So we kind of aren't we have to weigh that? Like, I don't want them to. I mean, you know what it's like. Like you've seen the factory farms. That's terrible. Like
It is.
I
Yeah.
don't want that experience for them.
So
But but the only way I can determine that is to say, like, I know my sentience experience is better than that one, so we need to move in this direction. If I'm wrong, correct me, or you disagree, or have a different thought.
sure. So it's not that the thing about veganism is, let me explain, because it doesn't matter, like we don't have to compare humans to animals to reach the vegan conclusion. We don't have to say, like, even if humans did not exist, veganism would still make a logical sense, will still make logical sense. So there's no comparison needed here, because the reality is veganism essentially just says if there's no need to exploit a sentient being, don't. It just applies to non-human animals because humans have a different classification, right? We classify them by
Yeah.
race, by gender, we do all these things. But when it comes to non-human animals, it's just all under one umbrella called veganism. But the reason why you shouldn't exploit a sentient being is not based on the value that you give to them. It's based on the value that they themselves have intrinsically. They value their life.
Okay.
So, for instance, their life to them is everything. Whether it's a good life or not, it's still everything to them. My life to
Yeah.
me is everything to me. Your life to you is everything to you. So if me, as an external individual, I can choose to not interfere in a way that messes up with your interests, with your own interests, then I shouldn't. So if I'm going to try to help you out, like you can take an animal to a vet, right? But when you do that, even if the animal doesn't want to, you're still doing it for the interest of the animal. You're saying, yeah, but I'm taking care of them. It's like you do with a child, right? Sometimes you have to tell children to do things that they don't like, but you're doing it in their interest. If you would do all of these things to the animal, to the child, in your own interest, then that would be immoral.
So okay, that actually makes a lot of sense. So then my question would be, then why do you think we give more moral consideration to humans than to animals? Like, do you believe they should be completely equalized, or let's say like an example, I heard you were talking to that crazy guy before about the there's some people who are born with that brain thing where there's like water in their
Yeah,
brain. I forget what you
hydroencephaly.
said. Yeah, let's say if you have a human baby that has that, and then you have, say, a dog, a cow that is the same brain capacity and it doesn't have that issue. Are they equal in moral consideration? Do we prioritize the human's well-being over the animals, or the animal, since he has a more sentient? Well, they're both. Is the encephalitis, are they sentient? I don't want to
They
make a
are.
mistake.
Most of them are.
Okay.
Yeah, most of them are. Yeah.
So, like, they're both sentient. Do we prioritize the human one first, or we just run them both as equal? Or
Yeah. So
because intuitively I feel we take humans first. And sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. My bad.
no, you're good. You're good. So the way I see it is when we choose to do an action, a positive action, right? Because that's what we're talking about. If we're choosing to do a positive action, we can always choose to prioritize the individuals that we care about. And I don't think that's necessarily immoral. For example, I may, in a situation where I could either save a dog or a really awful human being, I may choose to save the dog, right? Like if it's Schmittler versus a dog, I may choose to save the dog. Somebody strictly being human doesn't inherently have more value. It's just me making a logical statement when I have to save an individual or not, or when I have to do something good to them. I just choose the one that either, because I'm the one doing the action, I choose either based on my emotions, my logic, or whatever, right? But if I'm doing a positive action, but if I'm doing something that's potentially against their interest or negative, then I don't have the right to do it to any of them. And if I'm put in a situation where I have to choose between one of them, then I'm faced with the same idea, right? I will choose based on my emotions or something, right? Like, for instance, if I'm on a deserted island, and the only way for me to survive, I have a pig next to me, and the only way for me to survive would be to unalive that pig and eat them. I mean, personally, I wouldn't do it personally because I think I would value companionship more. But if somebody chooses to do that and eat them to stay alive, I wouldn't have a problem with that because you're in a situation where you it requires that, right? So when it comes to the external value that we place on them, it only matters if we can create the trolley problem. We can create a value system where this individual values more than this to me. But it doesn't mean that just because somebody's at the bottom of your list, you get to draw the line before them and say, well, I'm allowed to exploit you. No, you're still not. It's just that in a situation where you have to exploit one, maybe you can choose to exploit them.
Is it okay if I ask you a question about something you said a little earlier about the evil German guy?
Sure.
So you said let's say if you had the choice and say it was like that evil German guy and the dog, you might choose the dog. But they're both sentient, so it doesn't seem like sentience comes to your equation when you make that decision fully. There's some other thing. So that's why I'm maybe a little confused about vegans, because sometimes it feels arbitrary, because like 1 minute sentience, I'm like, yeah, that I agree with that. I think that makes sense. It's a good rule of thumb. But then sometimes in practice or things people say, it's like it feels like there's a piece missing.
But you got to make the distinction between when you're doing something for their interest or when you're doing something against their interest. So if I'm doing something, it's a very big distinction, right? If I'm doing something for their interest, I can pick, it's on my side to pick who I'm doing it to. If I'm doing if I'm doing something positive, it's my side to pick who gets to reap the benefits of me doing something positive. Of course, granted that they consent or, all that stuff. But if I'm doing something negative, it's not for me to decide, right? I have to leave all of them. All of them deserve equal rights in that situation. If I'm doing something negative, I shouldn't do it to any of them. If however I'm forced to do something negative, then I'm in the same position.
I understand what you mean. Okay. I think that's what I got a little confused on. Okay. I think that was the only thing I think I'm really struggling with veganism. It's because I've had conversations. I mean, I heard you talking to religious people. I don't know how you do this, bro. I get every time I talk to them, you hit this crazy wall. You feel like you say something normal. It's like, hey, maybe torturing animals is not cool. You're not saying anything crazy, but then they go down this road where, and then I feel like what I'm trying to argue for is kind of arbitrary because they always kind of say that. And I can understand that. I mean, it does feel that way to me at points. It's like they'll how do I ground or justify that thing? Because then if I just don't really know the proper responses to kind of those. I don't know. Maybe it's just because they're just closed-minded. There's no way to argue with those people, I guess.
No.
But then what do you do? How would you approach those conversations? Because my wife's family, we went to a Mexican restaurant yesterday, and we had a conversation about it because I just got tortillas and corn or something because I think I need to stop eating meat. I'm just wrong.
Nice.
I can't. There's no real justifying it unless you just don't care. Like you have
Yeah.
to that. But like, how would you begin like with people in your day-to-day life where they're not like immediately like triggered in some
Yeah.
way? Like,
Yeah, that's the thing about it is conversations like this are not easy to have with your family. It depends a lot on with family or friends. It depends a lot on the individuals who you're speaking to, right? The family or friends. If they're
yeah.
just like I don't know, if they're just like people who get defensive fast, then they won't. Or if they like, when I spoke to my parents, one of my parents, I won't say who, one of my parents was a little bit defensive because of this position that my son is better than me or something, right? They got defensive in that position. How dare you know more or something, right? So it depends on who you're speaking to.
Are you
I would
Eastern
say,
European? That's a very Eastern European thing
yeah, I'm
for
from
someone to
Romania.
say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. My family, they're Russian, so like that
Oh,
sounded
okay.
really Eastern European to me.
I get
Like,
you. I
yeah,
get you, man. I get you. I
yeah.
get you. Then, it's it's difficult to speak to family. But obviously, when it comes to religious, just to answer for your religion, what I was trying to do with this person with the whole Bible thing was, I guess I didn't tackle it also very nicely. It's I was a little bit nervous about TikTok. I've been doing debates on Discord, but for some reason I was nervous about TikTok. But the way I generally try to tackle the whole religious thing is I try to explain to them that well, they get all their books and their values and their morals from this one book, and this one book, I just want to show them that there is at least some probability that this book may be wrong about something. Whether there's something in the book that's wrong, whether there's a typo, whatever it is, that book may be wrong
Yeah.
about something. However, their intuition, they claim it comes from God, their intuition. And their intuition, whenever they see these videos, their intuition isn't that that's okay. Their intuition is that kind of sucks. Whenever they see what happens to animals, whenever they have to do this to animals, their intuition always says, no, it's not okay. But they close their eyes, they desensitize themselves to it, and they continue doing it. So why not trust your intuition, which you claim is 100% definitely from God, rather than this book, who has a higher chance of being a mistake? That was what I was going for. It wasn't really easy to get there, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a similar kind of argument if you know about the problem of evil. That's like a similar, like
Yeah.
your line of logic, but they say it may feel wrong to me, but like I'm not like God is the one determines if something's right or wrong, and even if I not like it or it feels wrong, it's right. So, but I don't know how to talk to those people. Like I respect
It's
you a lot. I've seen you
difficult.
talk a lot. I don't know how you like. Why can't people just talk to each other anymore? I don't know. Something's wrong with the world. I don't know.
It's I
Yeah.
think it's always the conversations become a little bit loaded. I mean, I can tell you on my side where it becomes a little bit loaded and I get a little bit upset because, for example, I'm streaming also on YouTube right now, and there's like 100 people watching on YouTube right now. And a lot of them are not vegan, and there's a lot of people much like you who are just trying to understand the perspective or something. And the thing about it is our mind isn't very logical. So when somebody brings an argument that can seem logical to a person who doesn't really understand the actual logic of it, I get a little bit flustered because I'm trying to explain veganism isn't complex on its own, but when people bring out the arguments, it can become complex to understand. So I became frustrated because I'm trying to get you to understand the perspective, and you're bringing up these arguments that they don't make sense in reality, but to some people who don't really understand that, they'll be like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Like this whole crop, the crop that's argument is the one that I think like is the one that a lot of people bring up, and they always are like, okay, well, that's it, right? Because they try to create this idea that, well, no matter what you choose, an animal will die. But that's not what we're saying. No matter what you choose, it's not that an animal will die. It's that one choice is clearly better than the other. We're not saying this is perfect. It's just one clear choice is clearly better. So it's you end up. I hate it because I really want people to get the position. So that's why the conversations can become loaded on my side. On their side, I'm not sure exactly why they become loaded on their side, but a lot of the times I think it's just ego.
Can I ask you about the animals in farming?
Sure.
So do you or would you consider insects sentient, like an equal? Deserve more consideration?
They do, yeah. A lot of them are sentient, yeah. And I don't know about all of them, but when I spoke to a person who's was an insect researcher, he said that most insects are sentient, yes.
So would they have equal moral consideration
Yes.
within reason? Okay. Same for
Yeah.
like, I would assume rabbits get hurt in agriculture or other types of.
Yeah.
So aren't we kind of exploiting them in the sense of that's their natural habitat? We're taking it from them forcibly to grow our food, and they get
Totally.
killed in the process.
Totally, you're right.
So
yeah.
isn't farming in my view in that moment feels a little immoral. It feels like we're okay with exploiting animals to a certain point, and it's not a complete abolition. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. So we want complete abolition, obviously, but well, this is a complex topic, right? But I would just say this: we want complete abolition. That's for sure. I agree with you that farming, even plants, can to some. I don't know if I would call it exploitation because these animals are. We're not like by exploitation. I take it to mean that we are specifically using them as a means to an end. And when it comes to farming plants, the animals that are victims of us farming plants are not, they're not a means to our end. They're just incidental
Collateral
victims.
damage, kind
Collateral damage
like,
to some extent, exactly. Like we're doing it to protect our crops. We're doing it to without being a little bit ignorant of it. You know, it just they're incidental victims. So. I think that's really bad,
sorry.
by the way. We should end that also. Like we should fight against that. It's just a separate issue because when it comes to these, like to these issues, the way we would solve it is not abolish farming, right? Because if we abolish farming, we would have no food. Maybe if we had like if we in the future we end up developing food in a way that doesn't involve farming at all. Maybe we just grow nutrients in a petri dish or something, and then we should abolish also that type of farming. But the way we do it now is the only solution that we have to grow food for ourselves, and we kind of have to do it. And there's better solutions to farming, right? Like there's vertical farming, there's veganic farming, and I would advocate for those, but those are not in the same scope, right? Like the way to fix those is more like policy changes that not abolish the system, but change the system. But when it comes to animal farming, there's no way to do animal farming without exploiting the animal. It's just it will always happen.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they're the main product.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So about the so how much collateral damage is okay and how much isn't? Like where do you draw that line?
Like okay. None of it is okay.
But like, aren't you like by still buying produce, you're still involved? You're still propagating that, unless you have like maybe you do it yourself in your garden and you can. Like it feels like that's why veganism feels really hard on a global scale. On an individual scale, it feels easy, but it would require a lot of people to change. I mean, their complete lifestyle, which I probably would be for the better for most people.
Yeah.
If they have access, they can do those things. That's why it's like some things like just feel really arbitrary where we draw a line like, okay, right now we have to accept this. We don't think it's good, but we still have to participate. It feels like we're forced to forced to harm animals.
Yeah.
No matter what we try to do.
Sadly so, yeah. Well, even when we build roads or we build houses, we harm animals, right? It's
but wouldn't it be better just to not build the road?
It would, but sometimes we need to, right? Like we can't the thing about it is that there's obviously we want a utopian society, and veganism doesn't seek to solve all of the issue we have with animals. It doesn't seek to solve how we stop all harm towards animals. It mostly just seeks to stop the exploitation of animals. And then, yeah, we do need to also tackle all these other issues, not necessarily one by one, but even at the same time. It's just that it's incredibly difficult to tackle the harm we cause to animals to protect our crops when we literally bring animals into existence to use them like objects and harm them. So
Yeah.
It's veganism, as I see it, is just the first step towards a world where we have a better relationship to all animals, where we actually liberate animals. I don't think a vegan world necessarily liberates all the animals, because as you said, there might still be harm, but it is a very good step toward in that direction.
Mm-hmm. Is it okay if I ask you one more thing, and
Sure.
then I'll let you go? I don't want to take up all your time. Have you ever talked to somebody about veganism, and they bring up a very weird argument, or like a idea? They think it's okay to use animals because they think they can't speak to an animal's experience. They can only speak to their own
Yeah.
experience. There's a popular paper by a philosophy professor named Nagel, and it's about what is it like to be a bat, and like how that experience is not the same as my experience, and we can never know what that experience is like.
Yeah.
So aren't we like, we are like, I guess that goes back to the original thing I was asking earlier.
Yeah.
It seems like we're equating experiences, but we have no way to know if they are equal.
We're not
We just have
equating
to.
them. I'm sorry to correct you there. We're not equating them. The thing that matters is not whether their experiences are equal. It's just whether that experience exists. Essentially, I have no way of knowing if your experience is the same as mine. I just know that you have one, and I just know that you yourself value your experience of life. It's the same for me, and it's the same for that animal. And this value of us valuing our experience of life is not coming from something intellectual or logical. It's simply coming from the fact that we have this experience. Like, this experience of life comes with the value of experiencing life. So that means that the fact that they come together means that everyone who has an experience of life also values their experience of life. Which one is, are they the same? I'm almost certainly that no experience of any being, even amongst us humans, are the same.
Because the person I was talking to, this is how they tried to answer the name the trait argument. They said the human experience is the trait, and no other being has a human experience.
That's begging the question, right?
Yeah, yeah, I know, but like, I didn't know how to answer it. It's like, I mean, I get, like, but like, what's the issue is still not resolved, but they kept kind of saying, well, like, nothing has that experience like a human does.
Well,
and I'm like, well, a bunch of things don't have the same experiences. It doesn't mean we don't give them moral, I guess, consideration or things like that. But yeah.
I mean, what if I don't have the human experience? What if I have a different experience? What if I'm a different species? I don't know. Like, this is just I think people like to when it comes to morality, a lot of the times people do this thing where they first of all, when it comes to humans, they were taught about that humans, it's like they just pick a random category and they say everyone in this category, like it's a form of rule. I forgot what it's just they just follow some rules, right? Because these people
like heuristic or something.
Yeah, because the people who chose just follow these rules, if they were born 200 years ago, they would have thought that the category that they're born in deserves the rights that they deserve, and the individuals who are in a different category, they don't, right? So, for example, black people probably don't deserve the same rights as them because they were in a different category back then. Women don't deserve the same rights because they were in a different category back then. So these people, they just go by this logic that they don't have, like, this is what we're trying to explain, right? Like, when we bring also these other injustices, is that, hey, these are just categories. We literally said the same thing about individuals from another category, and then they say, yeah, but they're all human. Yeah, okay, but human is just another category. We can say, yeah, but they're all animals, right? Like,
yeah. I think like the more I've learned about veganism, it's like it's just right, and there's really not a lot you
Why
can.
aren't you vegan yet?
There's no. I become like, I think I'm vegan now. I'm starting like,
Nice.
I think yesterday. It's like when I finally made that decision. It's just going to be a lot of lifestyle changes, and I'm more worried about the endless amounts of conversations I'm going to have with my family, like my wife's family, like that's what I'm not ready for. And I love them all, but they're not like not the smartest people, and where I'm just like, oh yeah, talking about moral status and what do you think this is, like they don't even know what I'm saying. So I feel I don't know. That's why I've tried to watch some of your stuff or other people's stuff to like maybe find like really, like when you went on the street and you talk to people really easily, like really dumbed down conversations with certain people. I'm like, maybe I try that. Like, but yeah, because like they get easily angry when you say, well, I just think harming, and you're not saying anything. I don't get that. Why do you think the moment you say, I think harming animals is bad and we shouldn't use it, they immediately get defensive or angry at you about that?
It's an ego thing. I think it's an ego thing. Like, you know, I had a group of friends. So I watched, I was listening to Joey Carbstrong a lot, and I listened to his debates. That's how I went vegan. And then I started researching it because my whole argument was it doesn't happen here. That was my whole excuse. The biggest excuse that I had was it doesn't happen here in the Netherlands. So when I did the research, but I never did the research. So when I started doing the research and realized that it does happen here, I'm like, okay, I can't justify it anymore, so I have to be vegan.
Yeah.
So then I started being vegan. The next day, vegan. But then when I told my friends, look guys, look what I found is happening here in the Netherlands. Like literally, I had a friend who literally replied to the article that was showing that baby calves are left to starve to death. I had that friend reply to that article saying, "You're not better than me." I was like, "What? What are you talking about?"
Yeah. But like, bro, where's your empathy? Like, where's your empathy? It's not even about being right or wrong or better than. It's like seeing a starving anyone should make you feel like this is bad. I wouldn't want to starve. Like, even if it's purely a selfish thought. Like, would you want to be the starving? Would you want to be a starving baby cow? No. If we don't have to, why do we? Like, if it's unnecessary, like if the world was going to explode and everyone's going to die if we didn't eat a cow, okay, there might be some, okay, maybe we can have that conversation or something. But like, I just don't know how to deal when they get so like easy, like that.
Well, my
like
advice
off rip.
is,
It's not even built up.
yeah, my advice, don't even hope. Don't hope for it. The people close to you, don't hope. I think try to plant seeds, and the minute that they get defensive, back off, and just that's what you're going to be doing, just planting seeds with those people, because you got to have those people around you. You will also need people to have around you. And if you're just going to have fights every time you see those people, you're not going to enjoy it and they're not going to enjoy it. And you can just focus on other things you have in common, while at the same time try to plant some seeds here and there. Oh, you care about the environment. Oh, did you know that animal agriculture is the leading cause of agriculture? I'm not saying you should be vegan.
Yeah, I guess I'll just have to just navigate it. I mean, since I'm like, I was vegetarian for a long time, but for some like health issues that I had,
Same.
like I couldn't, so I was like, and then I watched, I was maybe 10 or 12. Do you know the documentary Earthlings? Do you know what that is? I watched that, I was like, yeah, this is pretty not cool. Like, so then I didn't I was like, oh yeah, I can just be vegetarian. And I was vegetarian for a long time. And then I kind of just stopped. Like, you know what happened? You're just around people, you eat things, you're not thinking about it. And then you forget how bad it is or whatever, you kind of go down. And then, do you know a YouTuber called Ask Yourself?
I know.
By chance?
Yeah.
I saw him argue with somebody and doing name the trait. And I was like, I don't really have an answer for that. Like, I don't really, that's a very hard kind of thing. So I got into a lot of philosophy, and then I started reading Peter Singer stuff. And I think he's really changed, like, a lot of my mind. It's like,
Nice.
this is pretty rough. But I don't want to take up all your time, but I appreciate it. And thanks for, I'm sorry you're probably going to have to go back to crazy people. But I guess have fun
Yeah.
and everything.
Thanks for being here, man, and thanks for saying all this. It's important. The reason why I do these streams is also so that people hear the arguments and hear that how logic or illogical they are, and it's really nice to hear some people who are actually trying to be logical about it. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day, man.
Cheers. You too. Bye. Okay. We had one more person, but the same person we had before. Was it? Yeah, W guest. Yeah, indeed, W guest. Let's see. Grateful Jack. I don't know, man. Are you gonna bring religion yet again? You are the religious one. Let's see.
Yo,
How old are you?
I'm 16.
No, I'm sorry, you can't be here. If you're 16, you have to be 18 plus. You see this?
Nigga, I'm 16.
Yeah, but you have to be 18 plus. I'm sorry. Yeah, but you know, I appreciate you being here. You set and all that line for it says 18 plus. It says 18 plus here. But yeah. Yeah, child. I know. Either way, you have to be 18 plus. It doesn't matter. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here on TikTok. I'm gonna end the TikTok and I'm gonna switch to YouTube, have a little bit of conversations there, and I'll see you next time. I'll try it. I tried this TikTok thing. It was a little bit stifled at first, but we'll get to it. We'll get better at it. Okay? It was interesting. I did see some things here and there, so we'll get there better. Okay? Thank you so much, everyone. I'll be live on TikTok from now on every Saturday. I'll try to be live. I don't know exactly about the time, but I'll also do it one more time per week. So we'll see. Well, oh wait, John, you want to join the call, John? Well, let me invite you. I can invite you right now, John. There's not a lot of people here, so I can easily invite you. Let me see. Mr. John. You're here, John. I invited you. Before we leave. Grateful Jack says, no, I'm actually 18. No, bro, you're not 18. Okay, well, John didn't reply, so then we'll end it. We'll end it. We'll see you in the next one, okay? Bye. Okay, we finished the stream on TikTok. Ah, shit, I can't put that. Okay, let me remove the thing here. I don't know. It was something. I tried something. I'm gonna try to do more TikTok thing. There were very few people on TikTok. But you know, that's how we get there, right? We gotta do more, a little bit more. And I was also a little bit antsy, I guess, in the middle or something. This guy called me angry. I wasn't angry. Whatever. I was just passionate, I guess. Yeah. Let's see if some people in the chat here. We need to stop milking cows. It's wrong. Let's start drinking our own species of milk. Yeah, but the milking part is not the wrong part, is it? I mean, sure, you could see that wrong. But if the part that is really wrong is the exploitation part. The bringing into existence only to use them and treat them like an object. Let me see. There were some funds. Okay, get ready, everyone. Plants feel pain. The Soviets, Yankees, and Aussies all did the same tests and came to the same conclusion. They emit ultrasound and smells when damaged. Patriot of the West 6420. First of all, thank you for the super chat. Plants do not feel pain. If they do, first of all, if they do a test and they come to the conclusion that they emit ultrasound and smells, that's not an indication that they feel pain. I hope you understand that. That's just an indication that they have some form of chemical reaction that helps them with that, but it doesn't mean that they feel pain, right? Feeling pain would require some form of I don't know, a body, like a brain to experience that, right? We say a brain because that's all we know, but no, they don't feel pain. That's a process called cavitation, which is essentially just air bubbles forming and getting released. It's the same as if I have a balloon. When I release air from the balloon, you know, it makes a little sound. That's also the sound that the plant makes because it releases some air from, you know, it's called cavitation. You can look it up. Then another one about the same thing, another donation, a double donation for that. Thank you for that. And then the third one, soy crops require mass deforestation. Stop chipping down rainforest and killing the whole ecosystem for your dietary intakes. That's fine. Patriot of the West, thank you for that super chat. And I'm glad to hear that you're concerned about the deforestation, because in reality, if you consume animal products, you use way more deforestation. If I'm not mistaken, up to 4 times more. You anyway use 4 times more land at least. There are studies showing that it takes between 3 to 10 times more land to create 1 gram of animal protein versus 1 gram of plant protein. So it just makes sense. It just makes sense to be on a plant-based diet, even if you care about deforestation or anything else, the environment specifically. In fact, IPCC, which is the Intergovernmental Panel for Climate Change, Walking on this treadmill and speaking so fast takes it out of you. The Intergovernmental Panel for Climate Change admits that a plant-based diet is, you can save up to 4 times more land, so it's obviously better. But you know, thank you for those super chats. I'll make sure I'll use all that money to buy more soy. So thank you for that. And all that soy will create way less deforestation and way less environmental damage than your animal products do. My son is vegan since birth. That is amazing. You don't have to speak that fast. Well, if I don't speak fast, Linda, people won't understand me. Oh yeah, also Chip, 2 wrongs don't make a right. I don't know what you're talking about. Can I join a call? Well, it ended, so there's no call for you to join, but you can join next time. Yeah, okay, soy boy. Yes, I'm a proud soy boy, bro. You know what being a soy boy means? It means I have more testosterone, healthier veins, I'm a more compassionate, kinder person, and I'm smart enough to know what is right and wrong when it comes to exploiting innocent sentient beings. Oh no, you just called me the nicest thing you could have. Soy boy. Yes, thank you. I am a soy boy. Yeah, soy boy literally means all that. Soy equals estrogen overload. In fact, it does not. No, we actually have empirical data showing that it does not affect free-flowing testosterone or estrogen in the body. But you know, soy contains phytoestrogen, which is actually which does not bind to the same receptors that estrogen does. But if you're concerned about estrogen, you should know that animal products do contain estrogen inside them. Very minuscule amounts, but they still do. Savvy Coops W, thank you so much. Can't have a troll be the top donator today, sorry. Well, I appreciate you either way, Savvy. Or I'm sorry, Spooky. Savvy, Spooky Savvy. Appreciate you. W's for Savvy Coops. Amazing, thank you. Chip, what is your trapezoid routine? Yeah, I have big traps, don't I? I don't like that I have big traps. I actually am trying to not have big traps. I don't have a particular routine. It's just they just got developed from doing a lot of deadlifts. Today specifically, I think they're a bit more swole because I normally I do conventional deadlift, but today I did a sumo deadlift. And with sumo deadlift, I couldn't do the overhand grip like this. It just didn't feel right. Like the bar was shitty. The bar was not made for sumo, so I had to do it. I just had to hold them like this, so I couldn't. I couldn't use a lot of weight because of that, right? Because I only could 140 kilograms hold like this. It's pretty good, 140 kg. I would say it's pretty good with double, like with grip like this. And because of that, I was doing them slower. So I was holding the bar for longer, essentially. Yeah. I see we have a person here who wants to debate. Agent Bursa, I can give you a link if you want to debate me right now. Do you want to debate me right now? We have no problem doing that if you want that. The bar was shitty, said like a true vegan. Yeah, well, the bar was shitty is because the formations that you have on the bar, you know, the I don't know how to call them in English. You know, the bar always has these grip things, right? Like you have the smoothness of the bar, and then you have these inconsistencies on the bar so that you can grab it easily. Well, this one was smooth from the beginning, and had like where my legs would touch the bar, they would scrape my legs, and in fact, my skin is a little bit scraped because you know you have to keep the bar always in touch with your body. So that's why the bar was shitty. It was just not made for sumo. It was made only for, I don't think it was made even for normal deadlifts. I think it's not a shitty bar. It's just not a bar made for, yeah. The grip, yeah, I guess the grip, I don't know how you'd call it, but you know what I mean. Like the protuberances that you have on the bar. Yeah, the etched part of the bar, exactly. Not out of fear, but because I don't think your worth is... Okay, so you don't want to debate me. That's fine. You run away. If you ever want to debate me, I'm here, okay? I'm not here to run. And I explained to you also I even explained to you what my argument will be if your point is, because I saw you saying something about atheism. If your point is about religion, I explained to you what my point of view is and what I would be debating, so yeah. I think it's called knurling. Wait, let me see what knurling is now. Oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, the diamond pattern. Yeah. I'll try and debate you. Okay, well, let me give you a link. From Discord. I'll give you a Discord link. Give me a second. And we can debate, no problem. I can't generate the link for this one. What the hell? Oh no, I can't generate the link. I'll generate for this other one then. No. I can't generate the link for Discord apparently. So no, I'm sorry, I can't debate you right now. I don't know why it doesn't work, but just says there's just some issue with an int or something. So there's an issue with the server. Watch the most important speech you'll ever hear. Very good speech, yes. That's a very good one. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go. It was an interesting experiment with the TikTok. I wanted to do it later. I think maybe later is even better because there's more people and we'll get more people on TikTok also. But I'm gonna try to do it more on TikTok also. Not for any particular reason other than the conversations can get good also there, but also because I think it helps me be better at speaking to people there, because you see there's a lot of interruption, there's a lot of that which I don't really deal well sometimes with that. Look at that. I deliberately waste food when eating meat because I enjoy them suffering. Bro. Such a cruel person. Anik, what time does Neon start tomorrow? I couldn't find it anywhere. I think 2 p.m. I'm not sure, Anik. Let me check. Because you... Neon. Trying to see when Neon starts tomorrow. From 2 to 5 p.m. Anik. From 2 to 5 p.m. Yeah, so I want to give a shout out, also one thing before I go. I want to give a shout out to Dracolon for being the first to comment on the last stream. And this time, because I didn't have time to put in the numbers and stuff on it, I'll give also a shout out to Tone and Martin. Dracolon, Tone, and Martin. Dracolon was the first, Tone was second, and Martin was third. So thank you for that. And in case everyone wondering, is when the stream ends, we give them shout outs for being the first people to comment on the stream. So thank you for that. I'll end the stream. I hope if you're not vegan, watch the 3-minute video. It's linked in the description of my stream. Or Dairy is Scary, as Martin just posted now. Watch and see how you feel about it. If you're not okay with it, don't be part of it. It's in the end, everyone will go vegan. It's just a matter of time. So don't resist it. Just accept that it's wrong to exploit an innocent animal. So yeah. Oh, and Andreas, thank you so much. What is the best way to support you with money? I mean, super chat, I guess, is the best. Maybe become a member. That would be the best. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for all of this. I'll continue fighting regardless. But yeah, helping me financially would help me in the future, because right now I'm trying to get to that place where I don't where I can continue doing it in the rhythm and rate that I'm doing it now. Because at some point I may not be able to do it anymore. Not because of me, but because of my financial situation. So we'll see. But you know, I appreciate the super chat. Become a member, stuff like that. You know, Patreon, whatever. I have all the links there in the description. I appreciate it anyway. It's very difficult for me to ask for money because I'm one of those people. But I appreciate everyone being here. I'm gonna end the stream. I hope you have a nice evening. Saturday evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna be doing street on the outreach on the street, and we're gonna have a better time. Okay, it's gonna be a little bit better than today, and we're gonna do TikTok again, and we're gonna get better and better at it because that's how we get better. Okay, if you're a vegan and not an activist, you see, sometimes you're shitty at it, but you become better by repeating doing it, by continuously exposing yourself to it. Eventually, you become better and better. Okay, that's what I'll do for every one of you. If you're not vegan, become an activist, because you see, you become better by doing it more and more and more. And the more people you speak to, the more people go vegan, and the better, the fewer animals are exploited for us, okay?